Good morning, students. Hope all are doing good. Children, today let's go ahead with another lesson in geography. But before that, let's have a recap of the very first lesson, that is how season occur, part 1, which you have done in the first term. Fine. Now what are we going to learn is the second part of the same lesson, that is how season occur, part 2. Okay, now what did we learn in our first part, that is how season occur, part 1, which you have learned in the beginning of the first term. So what did we learn in that first part? In our first part we have learned that Earth revolves around the Sun, right? It takes 365 days for the Earth, that is 1 year, for the Earth to complete one revolution around the Sun. The Earth rotates around itself while revolving around the Sun. Now, when it is rotating at the same time while revolving around the Sun, because of this we get day and night, isn't it? Some part experience day while some part experience night. So this is what we have learned in our first part. Now in today, that is in second part of our chapter number 8, we are talking about the Sun, that is the center of the solar system. Now we are going to learn about what happened or what are the apparent movement of the Sun. Now what does this apparent movement? So let's see the apparent movement of the Sun. You must have realized through your observation that the position of the Sun at sunrise appears to change on the horizon every day. Its position appears to move towards the north or south in the course of a year. However, in reality, the Sun does not move anywhere. That is why this movement of the Sun towards the north or south in a year is called the apparent movement of the Sun. Children, underline these two lines. The movement of Sun towards the north or south in a year is called the apparent movement of the Sun. The position of the rising Sun keeps on moving towards the south in a period from 21st June to 22nd December. Underline this date, children. This period is called Dakshinayan. From 22nd December to 21st June, the Sun keeps on moving towards the north. This period is called Uttarayan. The revolution of the Earth around the Sun and the tilted axis in straight line of the Earth are the two factors responsible for the apparent movement of the Sun. Now see the explanation, children. What do you mean by apparent movement of the Sun? So, within a certain period of time, the position of the Sun appears to be moved towards the north, and later part, some other time, it appears to move towards the south during the period of a year. Yes, but the Sun does not move, right? In reality, the Sun does not move. The Earth is revolving around the Sun. So, we feel that the Sun is moving either towards the north or towards the south. Okay? We feel that Sun is moving either towards the north or towards the south. So that is why this movement of the sun towards the north or the south in a year is called apparent movement of the sun. Okay children, so what is apparent movement of the sun? The movement of sun towards the north or a south in a whole year, in a period of year. So that movement of sun, children, towards the north or the south is called apparent movement of the sun. Okay, so when we see the movement of the sun, the position of the sun either move towards the north or south. But actually children, in reality, the sun is not moving. Is sun is moving? No. In reality, the sun is not moving anyway. So that is why this movement of the sun towards the north or south in a year is called apparent movement of the sun. So when sun moves toward the south, the position of the rising sun. See children, I am talking about rising sun. Okay. So when sun moves towards the south, so the position of the rising sun when it moving towards the south from a period from 21st June to 22nd December. Children, remember this date, 21st June to 22nd December, when sun is moving towards the south. This period is called Dakshinayan. What is called? Dakshinayan. Dakshin means south. Okay. So the position of the sun when it's moving towards the south, when from 21st June to 22nd December, is it's called Dakshinayan. Fine. Now, when from 22nd December to 21st June, when 22nd December to 21st June, when sun moves towards the south, that is Dakshinayan, right? Now, when from 22nd December to 21st June, when sun is moving towards the north, okay, so this period is called Uttarayan. Uttar means north, okay. So when sun is moving from Uttarayan from 22nd December to 21st June, okay. So when it is moving towards the south, it is called Dakshinayan. And when it is moving towards the north, it is called Uttarayan. Fine. I hope this is clear to you children. So this happen in a course of the year. ये कब होगा? In a course of a year, in a whole year. That is from 21st June to 22nd December, that period of time of the year. Okay. Now, what are the two factors which are responsible for the apparent movement of the sun? So, which are these factors which are responsible for this movement of sun, children? Yes, the revolution of the earth and the tilted axis of the earth. These are the two factors which are responsible for the apparent movement of the sun. We are learn the lesson how season occur. Okay, so how do this season occur? The season occur with the position, with the revolution of the north and southern hemisphere of the sun. Okay, with the movement of the sun from northern to southern hemisphere. Because of this, the season occur. Because of this, that is why we learned how season occur. We learn Dakshinayan and Uttarayan position, right? So Next is also this is also a factor which is important for the season to take place in the north or the south hemisphere. Which are the factors, children? Revolution of the earth around the sun and the tilted axis of the earth. These are the two factors which are also responsible for the apparent movement of the sun, and because of these, children, it also responsible for the season to occur. Okay, I hope apparent movement of the sun is clear to you, children. Okay, now next we are having is perihelion and aphelion position of the earth. Now what is this perihelion and aphelion position? Let's see. The path of the revolution of the earth around the sun is elliptical, means round. The sun is at one of the two centers of the ellipse. The sun does not change its position. As the earth moves in an ellipse, its distance from the sun does not remain the same. It is at its minimum distance in the first week of January. This is called the perihelion position of the earth. In this position, the southern end of the axis towards the sun, as against this, in the first week of July, the earth is at the farthest point from the sun. This is called the aphelion position. In this position, the northern end of the axis is toward the sun. With the help of figure 8.1, which shows the position of the earth in relation to the sun, you can guess which season prevails in which hemisphere. Season occur due to the revolution of the earth as well as due to the tilt axis of rotation. Now see, children, what is perihelion and aphelion position. Now we are going to learn, or sometimes what happens, children, about the earth, that is, the sun is not revolved in a circular manner, right? It is an ellipse, right? It is an elliptical. Its shape is round. Okay, the sun is its own place, right? It is not moving anywhere. It is its own place. It does not change its position. So, who is changing the position? So, the earth is changing the position. We have already learned this, okay? So, the earth, as it is revolving, it has its elliptical part. Yes? So, when the earth moving in that ellipse, so that the distance of the sun from the earth is not same everywhere. It keeps on changing. Sometimes it is at minimum distance and sometimes it is at maximum distance. So, in the first week of January, children, now this week which we are following, this is January, na? We are following the first week of January. Okay? The sun is at the minimum distance, right, from the earth. So, the earth is at the minimum distance in the first week of January from the sun. So, we are very closer to the sun. It is at the minimum distance at the first week of January. So, this period, this is called the perihelion position of the earth. Okay? So, what is perihelion position, children? When sun is very close, okay, the distance between the earth and the sun is minimum, okay, so that minimum distance from the earth is called as perihelion position. Okay, now in the first week of July, now we have seen first week of Jan, it is called perihelion, right? Now in the first week of July, the distance of the earth from the sun is farthest from the sun, and this position is called aphelion position of the earth. Okay, so when sun is far, it is called aphelion position, and it occur when at the first week of July, right? So the minimum distance is called the perihelion position of the earth, and the farthest part is called the aphelion position of the earth, right? Okay, now these are the perihelion and aphelion position of the earth. Now with the help of the diagram, you can understand it better, the aphelion and perihelion position. So children, look at this figure 8.2 of your textbook, aphelion and perihelion position diagram. Now you can see the sun over here in the diagram. In middle, you can see the sun over here. Yes, you can see the sun, children, right? Now you can see the distance, right? The distance over here is 147 million kilometer, right? Can you see the 147 million kilometer written over there, right? And another side it is written 152 million kilometer. So this is a small, which is small, 147 is small. So that is the perihelion position. It is the minimum distance. And 152 is at the greater distance, and that is the aphelion position, right? 147, children, it is the small, and 152 it is a great. Okay, so 147 is minimum, it is called perihelion, and 152 is farthest. Okay, it is called aphelion position. Yes, and when we see the south end of the axis, you can see the south end, children, southern hemisphere, southern written over there, and the arrows has been shown, right? So that is the tilted axis towards the sun. See this part, children, see over here, it is the tilted in the perihelion position. The arrow has been shown over there, na? Perihelion position, that small circle dotted, that is the tilted axis. So these are the position, perihelion and aphelion position of the earth. Yes, and you can see, children, the earth is moving in an elliptical part. If you see the shape of the diagram, the earth is moving in an elliptical part. So this is an elliptical part, it is not circular. You can see the shape. So because of this, children, distance is not same whenever it moves. The distance will be different. Okay, because of its elliptical shape, whenever it moves, the distance will be different. Okay, and in its elliptical part, elliptical orbit, the sun revolves around the sun revolves around the earth. Fine. Now children, next we are going to learn about equinox. What is equinox? Let's see. As the earth revolves around the sun, the equator receives perpendicular rays. Perpendicular means 90 degree on 2 days in a year. This condition occurs on 21st March and 23rd September. On these days, both the poles are at the same distance from the sun. This is called equinox. Now see, children, what is equinox? In the figure, in this diagram, if you see that, children, the north and south pole is at equal distance. Okay, both the pole, north pole and south pole, both is at equal distance from the sun. So this condition, children, is called equinox. Okay, when the North Pole and South Pole is at equal distance from the sun, this condition is called equinox. Here again, children, you can see the sun rays are perpendicular to the equator. Means what? Student, the imaginary line. Equator means what, student? The imaginary line that divides the earth into the north and southern hemisphere. Okay, imaginary line when it divides the earth into north and south. Okay, in these two parts, in this northern and southern hemisphere, this is called equator, right? So here you can see, children, the sun rays are perpendicular. Perpendicular means they are forming 90 degree, and this condition is occur in 2 days of the year. Which 2 days, children? This condition occur equinox, children, that is on 21st or 22nd March and 23rd September. Okay, 21st March or 23rd September. You have to remember this date. Okay, on these 2 days, the equator receives perpendicular rays on these 2 days, right? Okay, children. So here you can see the north and south pole, they are at equal distance from the sun rays, and so the equator is receiving the perpendicular sun rays, and this is called equinox. I hope equinox is clear to you, everyone. Okay, now next we are having is circle of illumination. What is this? Let's see. The illuminated and dark portion of all the parallels, including the equator, are shown in the figure 8.3. In the figure, the circle of illumination divide all the parallels from the North Pole to the South Pole equally. Everywhere on earth, night time and daytime are of equal duration. This condition is called equinox. On equinox, the sun rays are perpendicular on the equator. In this condition, the circle of illumination coincide, means fall together, with the great circle defined by two opposite meridians. In the northern hemisphere, spring prevails from 21st March to 21st June, while autumn prevails from 23rd September to 22nd December. The southern hemisphere has the opposite season during these periods. In the northern hemisphere, 21st March is called spring or vernal equinox, whereas 23rd September is called autumnal equinox. Now let's see what is circle of illumination. Here, children, you can see the half part is illuminated. Okay, half part of the sun is illuminated, while the half part is dark. So you can see the imaginary circle which divide the earth into illuminated and darker position. So that imaginary circle, children, is called circle of illumination. Okay, so what is circle of illumination, children? Imaginary circle which divide the earth into two parts, that is illuminated part and darker part. That imaginary circle is called circle of illumination. And here you can see the sun rays are perpendicular to the equator, and also the circle of illumination that divides all the perpendicular from the north to south pole in the equator. Now you can see the 12 hours here, means daytime and night time are of 12 hours, are of equal, right? Okay, you know that the equator divides the earth into north or southern hemisphere. So, in the northern hemisphere, what are the equinox days called? Right? The as we have known, the equator has divided the earth into two parts, that is northern hemisphere and another part is southern hemisphere. So children, in both the part, the equinox days are known by some names. So in the northern hemisphere, what are the equinox days called? They are called as spring equinoxes or vernal equinoxes. Okay, why so children? Because let's see. So where the spring or autumn equinoxes, this will happen children when in the northern hemisphere children, 21st March is called spring equinox or vernal equinox, right? 21st March is called as what? Spring equinox or vernal equinox. Why children? Because they are equal, like because in northern hemisphere spring prevails from 21st March to 21st June, right? In northern hemisphere children, what happened? Spring season, it start from 21st March to 21st June. So as the spring starts children from 21st March, these days are called vernal equinox और spring equinox, right? स्प्रिंग स्टार्ट होता है 21 मार्च से, इसलिए उसको नेम क्या है नदर्न हेमिस्फीयर में? स्प्रिंग इक्विनॉक्स और वर्नल इक्विनॉक्स, राइट? एंड नेक्स्ट द ऑटम, राइट? Autumn season when trees shed the leaves. So in this season it starts from 23rd September to 22nd March. So this day of starting of the autumn, जब autumn start होता है 21st September से 22nd December तक, तो southern hemisphere में it is called as autumnal equinox. So understood children? What is circle of illumination? What in northern hemisphere, what are these equinox called? They are called spring or vernal equinox. And in southern hemisphere, spring has been started from September. So they are known as autumnal equinox. Okay children? So here we came to an end of our video 1 of chapter number 8, how season occur, part 2. I hope you have understood what is circle of illumination, what is apparent movement of the sun, what is equinoxes. Okay, so go through the video once again. We will be meeting in a second video. Okay, till then take care and thank you.